What's popping my pimples? Welcome back to Wallace Probably. Sonic fans. They're good at making many things. Games, music, artwork. Jokes, however, jokes are not one of those things. Today, we're talking about the worst Sonic memes. I asked you guys for your opinions, and in this video, we'll be going through them. And if you want to participate in one of these in the future, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss when I put out these prompts in my community tab. Without further ado, let's hop right in. It's 100% the I love Latinas meme. Look, as a Latina myself, I know the meme was made out of no malicious intent, but this meme has caused irreversible damage to the already sexualized image of Latin women. The amount of people that make drawings / memes of Shadow saying, "I'll protect you, Latinas," when it revolves around ice, or how someone will say, "I just love Latinas," when they see a Latin woman is incredibly weird and strange to me. Hell, I saw a handful of fans act a fool when they saw the Whisper VA be Afro Boricua. That shit is not okay, and this is something us Latin women have to go through daily. I don't need non-Latin people making this dumb joke anymore. Yeah, I think the Shadow Latinas meme has just done a tsunami level of damage to the world at this point. I still think it's done a lot of good, like I talk about in my Shadow Pop Culture video on the main channel, but on the other side of the coin, or I guess the peso in this case, it has enabled some really just shitty behavior from both fans and, I hate to say this word, normies alike. Maybe I can just say the public at large. That's less Reddit sounding, you know? I've talked to some Latin women behind the scenes about this meme, and they've mentioned how annoyed they are with it being used to fetishize them. Weirdo behavior. Like, listen, it's one thing to use the Shadow meme to uplift Latin culture and show your appreciation for it. You know, putting Shadow in like a Charo suit or something. Like, that's cool. But it's a whole other thing to use this meme as a way to make a joke that plays into stereotypes and ongoing real-world problems around such subjects like ice. Listen, I don't mean for this to be a whole like lecture. I apologize. Like Hey Juicy says here, the meme was not made with any malicious intent. I think its story is genuinely impressive, and the joke reached its peak being featured within the 3rd Sonic movie. Like, that's a damn good run. But some of y'all gotta know when to let the joke die, and also how to talk to women normally. Jeff Guy here had 3 memes they listed, but I'm only gonna focus on the second one. Freaky Sonic. Not because of the meme itself, but because of what it spawned. The original was a render of 2017X, specifically the version from Awakening, an upcoming Sonic EXE reboot AU game that is completely canon to the Sonic EXE mythos, with a lot of passion and effort put into it that was reduced to, haha, it's the guy from the one gif where the joke is that he is freaky. There's a lot of content surrounding the 6 main currently canon Sonic EXE projects that could frankly make up its own video, but most people only know Awakening / 2017X due to the freaky gif. The person who made the gif is incredibly talented, however, and it was more so the internet that ruined the meme through widespread use than anything else. Hey man, I can tell that you're a very passionate person about Sonic EXE, and listen, I know to a lot of folks the Sonic EXE community is cringe, but I do genuinely think it holds some of the most talented people in the Sonic community. That is an opinion I will die by. With that being said, I don't really agree with this take. I think Freaky Sonic, if anything, has done a lot to expose people to 2017X, and in turn, the Sonic EXE community at large. And it's because of that, I think you have a lot of people who would never naturally encounter Sonic EXE or that scene, and Freaky Sonic being the only thing that they're aware of compared to nothing else. It's kind of like if they weren't going to engage with the community anyways, at least they're like now aware of it through a silly meme. Like, this could be the gateway to them getting into Sonic EXE at large. I also just think outside of the song written about 2017X, Subterfuge, there hasn't really been much done with the character for people to grasp onto. Unless it's that Wallace Prower Freaky Sonic video. Dude, 2 for 2 on things I've made videos on. I'm sure 2017X will shine a lot more on his own once he's given like a proper story. However, that's also the one weak point in the EXE community. There's a lot of great ideas, but very little is done to execute said ideas. So I don't know, we'll have to see. I'm going to bring up Storm losing his mind over Miku. Not because I dislike the meme itself, I really enjoy the fan dubs, and the jokes never really fail to make me laugh, but because it got spammed so hard during the hype for Crossworlds. After the 39th time, it feels like I heard enough. Like, come on guys, we've heard the joke already, you can relax, lol. I think this meme just comes down to overexposure more than anything. I think the reason it got spammed was it's such a specific meme, and with Crossworlds announcing Hatsune Miku, it was like one of the only applicable uses of the meme, so that's why I believe it got spammed in every corner of the internet for a few weeks to maybe a few months. However, I don't think it's done much damage after that. It is just such a good reaction clip, like the Hatsune Miku. But yeah, it spawned some cute fan art. It definitely got people talking about Crossworlds, but am I still seeing it in the year of our Lord and Savior 2026? Not exactly, no. So for this one, I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree with you. Ugandan Knuckles. When the Ugandan Knuckles meme first came out, it felt like it was mocking Ugandans. The "do you know the way," finding the queen, and the spitting was just ew. It was most definitely created for fun, but the end result felt pretty mean-spirited, and like it was mocking the Ugandan people, which sucks cause Who Killed Captain Alex was really funny. Yeah, I agree with this statement. I remember even when it came out nearly a decade ago, there were already debates around whether it was mocking the movie it was supposedly based on, Who Killed Captain Alex, or if that was just a cover-up to make fun of Ugandan people in general. I think the moment Ebola jokes started showing up, that's what made it pretty clear that this was not gonna age well. I think it's pretty similar to the Shadow Latinas meme, where it started out with like no malicious intent behind it, but over time just evolved into like a caricature of people from Uganda, which sucks, man. I think the image that Knuckles was based on is like super cute, and it's kind of just like, ah man, it's been kind of tainted. I think a lot of people just pushing the edginess of the meme were just ignorant teenagers who grew up in like the Midwest or gated communities. And I'm sure many of them look back and cringe at it now. It just sucks too because, you know, watching a bunch of these little Knuckles harassing like e-couples on VR chat made for some of the funniest content. And I think from there, it kind of spawned that genre of like bugging people in VR chat. So, you know, you can kind of thank Ugandan Knuckles for that. I think it left an overall good legacy outside of the meme itself. I just wish it was done in better taste. Anyways, shout out Uganda. Sorry for what Ugandan Knuckles became. I hope his redemption arc can come around sooner than later. I really didn't like I Just Love Radical Highway Shadow because I felt it was heavily watering down the really awesome and spectacular moments in Shadow Generations. Haha, yeah, we get it. Why is some random ass highway Shadow's most important location when it has very little to do with this story? Haha, what if Black Doom was funny instead of serious and intimidating? Matter which goes on, but you kind of get the point. On one hand, I get it. Just using the meme to write off a lot of the amazing stage design and moments around Shadow Generations does the game a massive disservice. But at the same time, there is a little truth in every joke, and man, Sega really did make Radical Highway the Green Hill Zone for Shadow. It is the stage he debuted in, so it makes sense, but the overemphasis it has in the game is just so weird. Like, I associate that level with Sonic Adventure 2, not really Shadow. If anything, I'm surprised they didn't focus on Westopolis being Shadow's stage. Like, that is the level that comes to mind when I think about Shadow the Hedgehog. And honestly, before this video, I was not familiar that this was even a meme. I'm assuming we're talking about the one that comes from the Jet video. That doesn't even have 1 million views, and I know that sounds kind of crazy to say when it comes to talking about Sonic stuff in general, but a majority of like the memes that Jet has made that have gone viral and influenced conversation tend to have a few million views. This one doesn't even crack it, so I don't know. So maybe I'm just not the right person to talk about this. Eggman's announcement overstayed its welcome pretty quickly. It's only rivaled by Ugandan Knuckles in terms of generating obnoxious fandom behavior, but unlike Ugandan Knuckles, where you get a quick one-liner and some tongue clicks, it's a whole paragraph of copypasta that completely derails any conversation involving Eggman or the plot of SA2 as a whole. In my opinion, nothing about it was even particularly funny to begin with. It's carried by the energy the actor provides and the long-term payoffs of running bits throughout the fan dub. But out of context, it's just crass and edgy for the sake of being crass and edgy. It's just added a bunch of tiresome baggage to the perception of the franchise for casual audiences. One of the coolest moments of the franchise is now forever about some guy that pissed on the moon and nothing else. Yeah, I don't think the original cutscene will ever be seen the same way again. And like, the weight of that moment in the plot no longer lands like it used to. But at the same time, it's like a lightning in a bottle of a moment from the fan dubs. It is just such a good bit of improv that pays off throughout the fan dub. It can stand on its own without the context of the fan dubs just for how absurd it all is. Like, it's an Eggman crash out and then he blows up the moon. It's pretty easy to understand. I think similar to other memes we've talked about in this video, it suffered from being overplayed, but outside of that, while sure it's crass, I don't really think it's that edgy. I think it's still pretty funny, though it doesn't have much application outside of the game itself nowadays. If you're passionate about that cutscene though, and the stakes of Sonic Adventure 2, I can see how that would ruin what is, you know, a pretty big moment in the game. I think just personally speaking, I'm more willing to sacrifice a serious moment if an amazing bit could come out of it. That's just my content creator brain rot speaking. But I want to know, what do you guys think is the worst Sonic meme? Do we miss any? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, bye!